Hello, beautiful souls. Today's episode is so good. And before we jump in, I have some exciting news to share. If you've ever wondered where you're blocking money, this is for you. I've created a free quiz to diagnose your money wounds so you can heal them and unblock yourself to receive more money. Just go to moneywoundsquiz.com and answer 6 quick questions to get your insanely accurate and potent results. And if you're loving my vibe and want to work one-on-one to call in more feminine energy wealth, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a DM on social media or go to emilywilcox.com to learn more.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. I am actually getting ready to go to a fall festival at my son's preschool. So all the mamas who are listening know that this is a busy time of year. This weekend has all kinds of Halloween activities and festivities, and add on top of that multiple soccer games and a softball game and a best friend's birthday party and just a lot going on. We also have a house guest coming in tonight too. So never a dull moment in my world, but I'm here for it. And actually next week, Wednesday, is a full day photo shoot. Like we're talking full day, 15 outfits, 3 different locations, a bunch of shots, including Jeff and the kids. So it is an all out production. And I feel like the busyness of the weekend is going to carry me into next week, and that photo shoot's going to be here before we know it. So I'm sort of equal parts anticipation and kind of can't wait to have it behind me, just because it feels like so much coordination. And of course, our normally like sunny and warm weather here in Southern California is looking questionable for next Wednesday. So it's looking like it might be cold and rainy. So we may have to call some audibles on some of the outfits and some of the shoot locations. But the other thing is we really don't get that much rain. So it could be that it's all BS or that it all happens earlier in the day before the shoot. So it's like another lesson in surrender. It's like the best laid plans are great, and we just have to surrender whatever happens to the highest good and trust that it's all working out for us. So there's nothing that I can do to change any of it. And so why be in resistance to it? That is my philosophy. Okay, so you're going to love today's show. It's a quick one. And what it actually is a riff that I did to open up a mastermind space. So there are a lot of coaches that don't run masterminds at all, or only do it much later into their coaching career. Because the thing with masterminds is that although they are incredibly transformative spaces and they are highly scalable offers, they open up an entirely different can of worms around the interplay and the interdynamic of being in a group environment. And so likewise, when you put yourself into a mastermind, this is something that my mentor, Melanie, says that I just love. She's like, it will trigger you into excellence, meaning it will bring up all your shit. You will be like, I don't like her. She celebrates too much. I don't like this other one because she takes up so much space. She drops 8 boxers in a day. And then I don't feel like there's enough space for me to get my question answered. And you might feel like, so-and-so is the favorite of the coach. Like all of this inner child shit comes up because it's like, gosh, who didn't have a childhood that was at least somewhat defined by a sibling rivalry or noticing that so-and-so got more than you got and trying to figure out fairness and trying to figure out how you measured up with your parents and who was mom's favorite and who was dad's favorite and what did you have to do to be the favorite. All of that still lives inside of us, and it just may not come out to play very often. And so you might be feeling like, Emily, I don't know what you're talking about. I never feel that way. Well, let me ask you, when was the last time you put yourself into a high-level mastermind? Because I promise you, all of my clients are like, yeah, I really didn't resonate when you talked about sister wounds and mother wounds, but sure enough, here they are. And it is something that we often don't know about ourselves. And then it will come up. And it is so powerful when it comes up because you get to heal it. And I promise you, it's not just like, oh, do I really need to heal the inner child version of me that wanted to be mom's favorite? Listen, it is showing up in your bank account. It is showing up in the way that you interact in the world. This is all interconnected. So even if you don't give a crap about your inner child or your sister wounds or your mother wounds, if you care about making money and if you care about having more impact and you care about your visibility and your amplification of your message in the world, then you should care about healing these things. So when I open up mastermind spaces, I like to let people know in advance that this might happen, what they might be feeling, and what to do with that, because otherwise it can be tricky to name it after the fact or when someone's in the trigger. So you're going to hear my little riff on that. If you're someone that holds group spaces, I know that this is going to be so impactful for you and that you'll probably be taking notes so that you can better set expectations and better open up the group spaces that you hold. And if you're someone who's been in a mastermind before or who's thought about joining one, this is going to be so helpful for you just to imagine yourself in those spaces and, how you would handle it. And maybe it might make you think about joining a high-level mastermind. P.S. My high-level mastermind, The Becoming, is absolutely fantastic and has some space available. So without further ado, I will let you listen to my actual riff inside of the EMERGE Mastermind when I opened it. Enjoy. I've been in masterminds up to a $10,000 a month investment, and I didn't make every call. And I didn't always show up in Voxer. I didn't always use all the things. And we can sort of make that a disempowering thing where it feels like scarcity. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm not extracting all the value. Or we can choose to be in our power about it and say you know what? This is actually kind of a badass move that I know I have it available to me. I know I can plug into it. And I'm choosing and I'm prioritizing this other thing. It's like being at the most beautiful buffet. And it's like the worst thing we can do at a luxury buffet is decide that we have to completely dishonor our bodies and stuff our faces until we feel disgusting because we have to extract the value out of it, right? So what I notice is that when I'm receptive to it, the energetic exchange of being in these spaces is so valuable and really is a tangible part of the experience that we just get to be open to all the time, whether we're on every call, whether we ask a bunch of questions, or we just observe and absorb and get value from everyone else's questions. So just really honor yourself in this experience. And masterminds tend to reveal to us the places where we want to hide, we want to shrink, we want to compare. Mother wounds and sister wounds tend to come out in masterminds because we're just throwing ourselves into the fire. Mother wounds tend to come out when there's a person in a position of authority or a person that we look up to or we put on a pedestal. So that could be a therapist, a coach, a boss. And the way it comes out often is we're really seeking that person's approval. We really want their attention. And so if there's anything that is perceived as a slight or as, oh, so-and-so is the favorite. Oh, she always asks them to share first, or she gives them more coaching than she gives me, or she didn't respond on my Facebook post, but she responded on somebody else's. That really is this sweet little girl inside of us that's trying to figure out, does mom love me enough? And am I okay? And am I pleasing? And what do I have to do to get the attention and the approval and the love that I want? And how come it's easier for my sister or my brother to get it and it's harder for me? And so in those situations, we really want to dive to the depth of what's happening and not address it on the surface, because the surface level would be hey, how come you're not answering my coaching question? But it's the deeper thing is, oh, can I give my inner child so much love? Like she's really wanting attention and approval. Like, can I give that to her? Because really, I'm the source of approval that she needs, and I'm the source of love that she needs. So sometimes that comes up, just mother wound stuff. And then the sister wound is the part of us that does not feel safe being really vulnerable in groups of other women. And so sometimes that will be called like a witch wound. It's like the part of us that's like, okay, the thing that's really coming up for me is like the thing I really don't want to share in this group of women. Like it just feels so unsafe. And so I really want to invite you into like meeting yourself at that edge, because when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable and actually feel really held by other women, it just activates this superpower, like all of this amazing, incredible, like tribal energy that actually is available for us. But because of lineage traumas and because of conditioning, like we've assumed the masculine energy of like, I'll go it alone. I'll just do the things and I'll shoulder it. And I won't let anyone know that I'm struggling. And I certainly won't say it out loud and receive support. So these are spaces where if that stuff comes up, I've found that it's actually really powerful to name it in the space. Like that is the most next level move. Oh, I'm really feeling a sisterhood wound right now. And here's what I'm noticing. And just like asking for some love and support.
Thank you so much for tuning in to today's show. Before you go, I have something fun to share. Now, when you leave a review of the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or YouTube, take a quick screenshot and send it to hi@emilywilcox.com. You'll be entered into a drawing to win a free one-on-one boxer coaching day with me, and you help the show reach more new listeners. Such a win-win. I also invite you to follow me on Instagram at @mmakesmoney and to jump into my free Telegram community, The Money Club, which is linked in the show notes. Until next time, I'm sending you all the magic money vibes.